Alrighty, hey there guys, welcome. Can't you believe that we're already on episode 6 of Planet of the Daleks? This commentary track's been really fun to record. And I'm glad that you guys, if you've stuck around this long, if you've enjoyed the serial with me as much as I have, if you've somehow enjoyed my rambling rants, then thank you for all that, guys. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started in a 3, a 2, a 1. So, here we are. Last episode of Planet of the Daleks. The six-parter that really shouldn't have been a six-parter, which you can say about a lot of classic Who serials. One of my personal favorite guilty pleasure serials of Doctor Who. There's really not a whole lot to talk about while the intro. I'm just, ironically enough, I'm padding out my time here. I love how instantly their fucking plan, like, the first thing they try to do, their plan instantly fails. The Dalek just straight up fucking notices them. And it's like, well shit. And here, they come up with the ingenious idea of just throwing a blanket over the Dalek, which works, of course, because it's classic Who and the Daleks have so many weaknesses. So you just fucking throw a blanket on their head, and the Dalek can't see, and it's going batshit insane as they're just running down the corridors. Oh my god. This fucking serial, I love it so much. Wouldn't this have been interesting if they're running through the corridors and the Daleks are invisible, so they've got no fucking idea which way to go? I'm sorry, I'm never gonna not be salty about the Daleks not being invisible in this story, except for one time. I'm never gonna not be salty about them ever not being invisible, actually. That would be a very interesting Dalek story. They should recycle this story, which would be very fitting because this story itself recycles every other Dalek story that came before it. I can't. Sometimes it looks like when the Daleks shoot their lasers, it does probably go black and white in this, but sometimes it looks like sort of the real photo negative colors you'd see, like blue and green and shit. It's sort of hard to tell. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that this story is one of the few ones that was wiped. This is one of the few Pertwee stories that was wiped by the BBC in the Great Purge of the 1970s, when they just decided to fucking jettison a bunch of the Doctor Who stories. We're about to see our favorite army of Daleks down here again, which I talked a little bit about in the third and fourth installment of this commentary track. I don't know, that shot just looks so nice, and it's because you can tell it's real. They didn't use CGI for that, they didn't use a matte painting. They built a little miniature set and put a bunch of Dalek toys they had in there. And when stuff is real like that, when you can tell that it's actually there, it makes it feel a little better for me. Maybe that's not true for everyone else, but I am a big fan of practical effects, you know. I don't hate CGI, mind you. If CGI is done, if it's implemented well, and it's implemented to an amount where you don't really even notice that it's CGI, then CGI is good. But most of the time, I'd take practical effects over CGI, even if they're bad practical effects. Hey, we get our first mention here of the Dalek Supreme. who is touching. It's probably not the first mention, but the Dalek Supreme is touching down in this episode. He should have touched down a lot earlier, but he's finally coming down. So you can't dog him. He did make his appearance, not on schedule, a little late, but he made his appearance nonetheless. And I'll talk about this guy when he actually shows his face. He's my favorite Dalek design. He's black and gold, so already you got that color scheme going for you. You know this is going to be a good Dalek design. And then this motherfucker rolls out. He's tall as hell. Let's wait here. Let's wait here for this nice spaceship prop, by the way, to open up. Here you've got him in all of his glory. Look at that, black and gold. You've got a flashlight on his eye stalk. He's so tall as well compared to his boys that he's got here. He rolls out and he's got the boys on either side of him just following behind him there. You know, he's got the squad falling in, dude. They're ready to play some Apex Legends, dude. They got a trio. They're moving in. They're taking names right now. But yeah, what's interesting about this Dalek Supreme is that it was originally a prop for the Peter Cushing Dalek movies. And you can tell that if you watch those movies and then watch this episode, you can tell that there are similarities in height, obviously, and also other design aspects of the Daleks. So right away you can tell that. Obviously they repainted it, they made it black and gold, which I don't think is a paint scheme that appears in the Peter Cushing movies. I think those Daleks were either red or black. And then you've got the fact that they dressed up the ears a little bit, you know, they put some purple shit on there. And what I find to be the most interesting, best part about this is that they put a flashlight on his eye stalk, sort of painted it over a little bit, and they made it flash with his ears. And it just makes a really nice effect when the Supreme is talking. And it sort of reminds me, I'm pretty sure it might have been an homage in New Who, it might have been just a coincidence, but the Supreme Daleks in New Who have 3 ears instead of 2 like most Daleks. So when they're talking, they've also got 3 lights on their head lighting up. And that might have been a reference to the Planet of the Daleks Supreme. That might not have been. Anyway, the Planet of the Daleks Supreme is by far the best Dalek design ever. It's my crowning jewel of my Dalek collection, and yes, I do have a Dalek collection. It's actually my crowning jewel should actually probably be the Union Jack Dalek, which is like the size of my fucking forearm, bigger even, I'd say. Oh yeah. But yeah, so you've got this Dalek, which was just the production team just fucked around with it and made a badass design with it. But moreover, that Dalek, if I could recall correctly, was stolen by the Doctor Who production team from the Peter Cushing movie, Dalek movie set. And I think it was specifically for the Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD. Whatever the fuck that movie was. It was for the second one. I'm pretty sure it was for the second one. And they just stole it, if I recall correctly, and decided to dress it up. And it led to the best Dalek design of all time. Here we go. Him in all of his glory. He's rolling through, dude. He's ready. He's ready to kick some ass right here. And here you've got his fucking eyes flashing out of order. Or not his eyes, but his ears. His lights. And you see, this Dalek here says that Daleks can achieve complete invisibility. So why the fuck do the Daleks not just use that invisibility technology? Because that Dalek says, hey, we have it. It's fully functioning. For 2 work cycles, we can do that shit. But whatever. You know. Whatever. We don't get invisible Daleks because that'd be too cool for the 70s. Maybe. Nothing's too cool for the what the fuck did I just say? Nothing in the world is too cool for the 70s, dude. This was like the world of cool back then. Hey, the lights were pretty good there. Here, this is a fucking brilliant. This scene right here just lays the groundwork for how menacing this supreme Dalek could have been. Because this guy, he does not hesitate to just kill another Dalek. You know, it's like, hey man, you were in charge of the research here. Why you guys not why you guys not done yet? Why you guys didn't kill them Thals? What's going on, man? It's a little cringe. And the dogs are like, oh, it's out of my control, sir. Please, please give me a second chance. It's like, nah, dude, I'm just gonna fucking kill you, and then I'm gonna take over. And it's so, oh god, it's so nice to see. It's sort of like General Grievous killing a battle droid, you know. You don't really care about the battle droid, but it makes General Grievous look even more like fucking, like, oh shit. You know, this guy, he's not afraid to, he's confident in his own abilities. Like, he can lose a few soldiers, he can kill a few of his own soldiers, and still get the job done. And it's sort of the same thing with the Supreme Dalek here. And I just wish he was used more in this story. Very nice. I bet they're using, like, magnets or something here to get those Daleks to move. Probably strings, actually, with the way they were moving. Yeah, I reckon that was strings. It would just be hard to tell from, like, sort of where the camera's placed, you know, down at that angle. And you can tell, like, only ones on the outside were moving, so there were the ones easily that you could attach strings to as well. Why did they leave the bomb on the ledge where the Dalek army was? They just set it down there. They knew the Daleks were coming back to life, at least eventually. And they just set the bomb right down by the ledge. And just in reaching distance for the Daleks, you know. I love these woozy, like, drunken Daleks that are just waking up, dude. They got the bedhead. They're like, what the fuck is going on, dude? I slept way too long. I stayed up last night with the boys playing Halo 2 on the Xbox original, and I have no fucking idea where I am right now. And they're just all groggy, and the doctor crawls down in between them, which must be like crawling into a pit of giant sleepy spiders for the doctor, you know, considering how terrified at this point he has to be of the Daleks. Considering all the shit that he's seen them do to people, you know, he can't be entirely fearless of the Daleks, and that's the third Doctor's sort of MO is, you know, doing what you're afraid to do, anyway, you know, just because it's the right thing to do. So I guess it suits with him. Nice little character moment for the third Doctor. You know, it's something that he would do. That's something that Marat would also do. Fucking rest in peace, Marat, my man. Marat would have been down there. He would have been shooting the Daleks as well. What, do we got a surprise gamer here? I forgot what that character's name was called. It was like Lespa. I don't know. I don't have a lot of time to dwell on it. It's sort of hard, like, one of the things about the photonegative lasers is it's sort of hard to tell, like, when the Daleks miss. But you could do, like, you could combine, like, the laser bolt that they use later on with the photonegative effect on just the people that they hit, and pretty much have the same sort of effect. I don't know, I just don't know, I can't really describe to you why I don't like the skeleton effect too much. Nautep, that's his name. I'm watching this with subtitles, by the way, because obviously I'm not going to be listening too keenly when I'm talking to you guys. You know, I got you guys to worry about. I got to keep you guys entertained. So I just read his name from the subtitles. It wasn't just an act of me remembering randomly. It was an act of me using my cheat codes to remember. It's interesting to me how supposedly this army of 10,000 Daleks is frozen on Spyrodon. Supposedly it's the largest army that the Daleks have ever assembled. And they just put it on this planet to use at a later date. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because let's say you're like evil space Nazi, right? Let's say you, dear viewer at home, are an evil space Nazi. Did they use? I'm pretty sure they used the toys. Oh yeah, that was a miniature shot right there, because that's what the toy looks like. It's very inaccurate, as you could see right there. It's very nice. So that was a miniature shot they used for the explosion. That's really cool. They destroyed a few kids' toys making that shot. But yeah, you're space Nazis, and you have 10,000 other space Nazis with you, right? And currently they're not stored on Ice Cum Planet, unlike these poor fellows here that are just getting drenched in gamer gunk. You know, you've got 10,000 space Nazis under your command. What are you gonna do? Are you going to one? I'm gonna avoid letters. I'm gonna use numbers instead. Are you going to one, use them to take over the entire fucking galaxy and then build more Daleks and then take over more galaxies and then eventually take over the universe? Or are you going to two, put them on some remote fucking planet that you guys barely have any control of and just seal them down there for a later date? Despite the fact that this planet apparently is very cold and has liquid ice in it. You know, despite this, you're just gonna put them down there, hope that no fucking molten ice eruption happens, like it is right now, to just completely destroy them all. And just leave them down there for a later date, so you guys can maybe resurrect them in the future. Like, it just seems like a very stupid plan. And here we go, like the third scene that the Dalek Supreme is in. It's it's just fleeing away, you know. Such an underused Dalek. We do actually know that the Dalek Supreme in the story didn't die. He's one of the few Daleks that made it out. Him and his gamer squad made it out. Here's a very good speech by John Pertwee. It really embodies the Third Doctor's character quite a bit. Like, shit like this is why I think the Third Doctor is just the best Doctor, and why he embodies everything that the Doctor should be. You know, because he's not afraid to do violence. But when it gets down to the nitty and gritty, he'll do what needs to be done. Yo, he just gave a shout out to Marat as well. I wouldn't have done that in that situation. I would have forgot about Marat if I was the Doctor. But he didn't. So he's a cool dude. Fucking love Marat. It's sort of... I wonder if, like, there were people in the 70s who actually expected Jo to just fuck off to Skaro with this person she just met. But like I said earlier, this little beat right here is good character development for Jo. A rare sight, considering that she's very static for most of her run as the Doctor's companion. You know. Like, I find that, the problems that I have with Joe Grant, I've just been thinking about them, like, through this marathon that I've been going through. I've just been realizing, like, oh, damn, Liz Shaw would have been so much better. And before the marathon that I've been going through, I always knew that deep down below, Liz Shaw was my favorite companion, but I hadn't revisited her stuff in a long time. And just watching Season 8 directly after Season 7, I was like, oh shit, that's why Liz Shaw is my favorite companion. Here we go. We got the boys. This is me and the boys right here. Me and the boys on a Saturday night. Right here. Moving on through. I'm glad that we got an extra little scene with this guy. It would have been cooler if the boys on either side of him were invisible, though, is all I'm saying. He can't be invisible because he looks too cool to be invisible. He would, knowing him, he'd be like, nah, dude. Nah, I'm just gonna be normal because I look so fucking drippy. He's the drippiest Dalek alive. Here's sequel bait that never gets resolved. It would have been hilarious if this Supreme Dalek specifically was the twist villain of the next story, the Green Death. That would have been fucking hilarious. You just have like a massive 18-part Dalek story that's loosely connected and it's really just a bunch of little 6-parters. Oh, it's almost like what the Dalek's master plan should have been. Dalek's master plan, oh my god, it's way too fucking long. Hey Joe, here's this heavily irradiated planet that you were thinking about going to. I want you to take a good hard look at it to remember that you didn't go there. That was a very good idea. But if you want to go there, then you can. God, Scarro's just like a shithole. It's like the galaxy's worst planet, It came from this thriving place of ingenuity and high societies with technological advancements. And it quickly devolved into just this radioactive wasteland. I also love, isn't it very convenient how Joe knows exactly what switch, what button, or what knob to sort of like press to bring up Earth on the scanner? Like it's a little weird. I should know that, considering most people have no idea what the fuck to do when it comes to the TARDIS. Anyway, that's just me nitpicking again. Thank you guys for sticking with me through this commentary track, if you've made it this far. It's been fun just to talk about one of my favorite Doctor Who serials, as we're watching it together. And it sort of builds a sense of community with you guys that I want to keep up. So yeah, thank you if you've been watching this or listening to this while watching the episode. It's been very great, and yeah, I just want to thank all you guys that stuck through. And that's very interesting. What we're watching right now, I did not know that this was at the end of this story. Anyway, yeah, it's very fun. If you guys want to recommend stories, I'm not saying that I'll go through with them, because most likely I'll just do stories that I'm interested in. But like, if you guys recommend stories, maybe I'll get around to doing those. And I plan on doing this for more things as well, like movies and stuff. But for right now, we're just going to stick to Doctor Who, because Doctor Who is a thing that I know a lot about. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for showing up. And I will see you guys in the next one.